Hi Mahesh,
Hi.
welcome back.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing your journey and how you got into
Yeah.
TV industry.
Yes.
So we are right now on the sets of Rising Star,
Yeah.
thanks to Optimistics allowing us to shoot here.
Yes, sir.
So if you could tell us how this whole process works, for example, if I am the production guy from Optimistics and I call you saying कि XYZ show है अपना, वो चालू हो रहा है 1st March को. So that whole process, if you can explain.
Yes, definitely.
For an engineer.
Yeah, definitely. See, the first thing is whatever today I am, it's all because of word of mouth, or it's only your work. Because of your work, you get your work. So first about Rising Star, I got a phone call from Optimistics. Mr. Rakesh, the manager, he called me and he told me that, sir, can you come for a meeting? So I went to the office for the meeting. So we just viewed some clips of this original show, Rising Star, and he told me that, see, this concept, so it has to be secret between us, so you don't leak this somewhere. So it's a show coming up, we are just taking up this show, and we want you to do this show. So then the next part he told was, which thrilled me a lot, that it's going to be straight to air, it'll be straight live. So he asked me, but can we do it? I said, why not?
But were you aware how to do it?
Yeah. That's where the thought process starts, because the challenge comes in, and then that's where you start thinking about what kind of patching has to be there, who all has to be deployed apart from me, whom I need on the floor. So that's how it started. And then after the phone call, then they send me the dates. So that's how the process is normally the schedule, because television is all pre-planned. It's 3 months pre-planned, 4 months, 6 months pre-planned. So they send me the dates and it was quite okay for me.
But you have to coordinate with everybody, no?
Yeah.
The judges.
Yes, everything.
The technicians.
Yes. Yeah. It's a huge, it's a big job. There are like 200 people working behind the show, like the non-technical staff also. So that's how it starts. Then it comes to the vendor procurement, like what list of equipment you need on the sets. So then basically I have to take the inputs from the production house, who all are there in the show, what kind of show it is like. So then that's how it starts. Then I know the number of microphones I need, what kind of microphones, like so how many lapels you need, what are different types of cordless. Most of them are RF microphones, all cordless wireless microphones. And in the band setup also, what all is there, so musicians requirement, so all that
So all this, how did you learn? I mean, how to mic a cordless mic.
So everything. Because about the wireless mics and all that, of course, when I came into this field only, because prior to that I never.
So there's no class that you have to take and all.
Nothing. But I'll be very frank, because that is again another zone, the RF zone. It's all related to telecommunication and electronics. So that's another zone. But I keep still reading about it. It's a never-ending thing. Because for a studio engineer, it's a total new field, and it's a total new thing, because you can't be you see that engineers working only in one sector. Either they are completely into live or they are completely into studio, but my case is something else only. But just हालात ने मुझे इधर उधर भटका दिया. It's like that. Because I couldn't, there was no jobs in studio, I came into this. Then we mail those lists to the production house. Then the production speaks to the vendor. Then the vendor has a word with me. So that's how we all take a meeting, and then we decide on to all the final things, and we get everything sorted.
And how is the condition of the equipment, because it's rented? So.
No, but they all are well maintained. Most of the time, because since they are not exposed to any dust or all, they are always in a AC environment, air conditioned. So it's always good.
So yes. So once the date of shoot comes, how does then things begin? How do you do the sound check?
The first important part starts from the set design. It starts from there.
You have to be present?
Yeah, because I should at least know what the set is about. Before the set is constructed even. It starts from there, the basic planning of the set. So whenever a music show is happening, particularly for a music show,
Yes.
not for the other shows, but for a music show at least, I should know where the musicians are placed, where. So that all discussions happen, that meetings do happen, and that is where I decide my monitoring, because monitoring, it's not only about placing the speakers, it is you have to also take care of the cameras, because the cameras you should not have too much spillover of the monitors seen on the cameras, so they don't want to.
But there are stage monitors.
Yeah, there are stage monitors which can't, that's not available.
Any feedback issues?
Yeah, feedback issues are there, but we analyze the speakers and make them flat, and then so that's all is sorted. Yeah. And for television, yes, I would like to say that the SPL of the floor is not too much like what you do for a PA or something, because you can't do that, because simultaneously you have to see the broadcast also. So there should not be too much of the floor should not be over loud that everything is picking up. So, but nowadays even the microphones are very smartly designed. So actually now even that issue is very minimal now. Previously it used to be there, but now even that is not there. But still we try and maintain adequate SPL on the floor, so that nothing spills over too much. Because there only it happens, the issues only happen when there are soft singers. Only that is where the issues are. Rest for the loud singers and quite the singers having good throw on a microphone. So with them normally it's not an issue. Yeah. So we also face some funny things also, like some of the professional artists who come to sing on the television sets, they are used to the PA sound, so they need the amplification of that SPL, like everything coming like 10 folds loud to them. They don't understand the situation of a television. This one, they keep telling that okay, I still need more. They crib for the monitoring levels, although it's audible, but they don't get a feel. They say that because because here most the problem over here is everyone is used to loud. Everything is loud.
You're meaning in India?
Yeah. But it feels bad also, because we still don't know what is the use of monitors. That's another big chapter. Like if we can sit on that. Because monitors is always only referencing. People don't know that. They want a proper mix on that, and plus they want their vocals to stand up above everything. So they need amplification basically.
So don't they use in-ear monitors?
Yeah, in-ears, some of them are using in-ears.
So does that help?
Yeah. In-ears definitely it's a great technology to work today. Today most of the new generation, I said no, the new generation are much more sorted. I feel much more ease to work, because even the band uses in-ears. They all are very used to. They don't have any over loud playing, and they're much more sorted. That's what I said. So only where we don't use the in-ears, that's where the major problem. And the basic part, if you see, like right from the history of our Bollywood music, example of tabla. Tabla to hota hi hota hai. Like it's a part of the song, like of the show. But the tabla having the maximum gain. That mic always has a maximum gain. So that is the most culprit mic to pick the whole floor and around everything and all that. So that's the most difficult part. And if you see physics ke hisab se bhi, in the studio you can do anything, because we have seen all the big Bollywood numbers in which tabla and dholaks are recorded, or even santur for that matter. If you listen to a santur naturally, it's so soft instrument. Like in an orchestra, if you see that hardly it can be heard, like if you with our natural ears. And उसको भी हम लोग ने उसके ऊपर लाया है. Like we are having a 100-piece orchestra with 20 dholaks playing and 4 tablas playing, and we want santur to sound still top of it. So that's how all unnatural things are there. But that's a challenge now. अभी जो हो गया है, what basically you are doing in a music show is what we have to just reproduce what the original was. So we have to come close to that. So उसकी वजह से it's always a balance between the recording studio. We are trying to, people expect that sound to come through and live. So that's always the challenge happening. So that expectation of a mix is always there, that it should sound like a studio mix, but they forget that this is always a live thing, so it can never sound like a studio. Although we try and make it close to a studio sound, but it can never happen because it's all SM50, it's all dynamic mics, so that can never sound good actually, because studio we at least have condenser mics like Neumann's and other microphones, but this can never sound like a studio, so it will always sound like a live only.
Yeah. So, but on TV it sounds pretty okay. I mean,
yeah, because but see, now again the television, the thing was when there was no LED. When let's talk about televisions which had speakers inside in the cabinet, so it was itself like a boom box. So where the fidelity was there, and even the highs and all was there. So that was the era where actually we used to even enjoy music on those speakers. But today the thing is, it's so subjective. Now it's a big issue now. Like even when our telecast happens, we get criticism also coming. Some people are just shouting all shit on in my TV. And Dekha Kal show it was. Then some would say that yeah, it was excellent. See, because now every television has their own sound, and first thing they are flat panels, so you don't have fidelity. There is no bass. So actually, I would always suggest that if you want to enjoy music on a LED TV, you should always either have a very good sound bar with you, or have some add-on system like Bose or something like where you can, And today the telecast is also happening Dolby. It's 5.1, so you should enjoy with the 5.1. So that audio awareness is yet not there in India. Like I don't 0.001%, or I don't know what percentage of people might be watching a Dolby. I don't think. Like even people they don't know also what the tech. So that awareness is not reached. Although Dolby has become mandatory on the broadcast, but still people are not aware that the telecast is happening. They only know HD. People are taking HD set tops, but no one is or the television people are not even focusing on the sound. That I think the end user should always enjoy the music only with a good sound system with the LED TV. So then they can enjoy music, particularly for the music.
So Mahesh, what is the difference between recording in a studio and recording in a live scenario like this?
Yes. Yeah, there is a lot of difference. In studio it's a controlled environment. Like you can keep experimenting on the compressions and trying different stuff in the mix. So you have time to but in a broadcast thing, the major difference is it's only an 11 dB window actually. So you have a ceiling, the max 20 decibels on the meter to go, and in between 20 and 10 only the the levels has to be there. If you're dropping down below 10, you're too low. So it's almost, you can say it's an 11 dB window. That's what we call it. So the compressions is the most tricky part of broadcast. You can't over compress also. If you over compress, pura daba aata hai, like when you watch it on the television. So वो एक problem है. And the most challenging part, you can't use limiters भी use नहीं कर सकते. So that also gives a very bad sound on air. So it's very tricky, like to especially for a music show, to have that this one. So so the release time, the compression, attack, release, and the ratio. So that's where the whole game is. You have to be you have to see that it doesn't sound compressed. Although even if you try and over compress it, but you see it, you always listen to it that it is not over compressed. So because I see that's only area where the new generation is lacking. What they have they are mostly used to plugins, and plugins in a studio environment, it's a different thing. And if you try and keep the same settings in a broadcast, it doesn't work. So it first thing you do is you try and first do only leveling, then just little bit of only EQ corrections, and keep it the mix for a broadcast is also little on the brighter side. It's not because of too many losses today. Earlier there were losses, but today actually the fidelity almost remains. It's a very minimal loss of here and there, like, but most probably you get very good audio today. So to make it sound very clean and neat. So that is where you have to only clean the muddy part of it and make it little crisp. That's it. That's the only funda. Not try and do too much of like mastering what we do. I've seen few shows, some music shows which are very well mastered. If I am to listen it only in my car, it sounds very good. But the same thing when it's on air, it doesn't sound good. In a car, it sounds really very good with fidelity and everything, very well mastered product. But when you put it on a broadcast, it doesn't sound good. That's because of the over compressions only. It's not their mistake, because they are listening in a monitor where they don't know, because they don't know the broadcast basics. What's the problem with the broadcast? Broadcast really don't need too much of compression. Yeah.
Thanks for that information.
Yeah.
And speaking of new generation, Mahesh, what is it that you would like to advise to people, youngsters who are watching this video, saying that should they first work in a studio and then come to broadcast, or can somebody directly come to broadcast?
No, I would always say that if they want to do music reality shows or something related to music, I would always say that studio is always a first and good experience. It helps a lot. Your ear training, everything, it helps a lot. Because here you don't have any time to learn those things. Those basics has to be learned before you come to this. So it definitely helps a lot on that end. And the another thing is the patience, like, because this generation is all the mobile and computer generation. They don't have patience. They are very, very impatient. So you need a lot of patience. Because how the most important, like I should say, is that always when you come to work, if this generation want to work for the music reality shows or something in broadcast, I always say that you always come to the sets as if you are a service provider. You never come, don't think that I am someone who has done so much and this and that. आपने कितना भी काम किया, it doesn't matter here, because it's an industry, it's an industrial job, it's a day-to-day job. Like कल आपने क्या किया उसको भूल जाने का. You have to see कल क्या shoot करना है, कल क्या करना है, all that. So it like I've done like more than now 3,000 episodes, or maybe more than that. I don't know how much, I didn't count. But so that's how. So you have to come with that attitude that I am going to give good service to this industry and I have to do my job and leave. That's it. So that then there is no problem at all. You will enjoy the job much more.
Yeah. So when you are recording a show, on a set, how do you have Dolby encoding, decoding done in your system? Do we have equipment for that?
In the live scenario, we have a pseudo Dolby. We have there's a aero unit at the MCR of Viacom. So that's how Rising Star goes on air Dolby. So from a two channel mix, it's converted up converted to a Dolby. That's how it goes to the HD. But in other shows, like there's a time to do post. So the other shows, they take the multi-track of the show. We do a multi-track recording of the whole band and other stuff, all the microphones, and that's how they sit and mix. आराम से होता है, like in a studio. So that's how they do. So, but that they get a proper time to at least do some good work on it. Yeah.
So can you run us through the equipment that you use in a studio?
Yeah.
In a set.
Yeah.
Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.